Hi and welcome to the Resources Roadhouse. I'm Wally Graham. I'm in Sydney at the 2023 RIU Resources Round-up, and I've just had a chat with Rob Smakman, who's Managing Director of Alvo Minerals. Rob, welcome back to the Roadhouse. It's a pleasure to see you again.
It's great to be back, Wally.
Okay, so still in Brazil, still chasing copper and other base metals. You bring us up to speed on how that's going.
Oh, it's going great. I mean, we've been operating now for about 18 months on site. We started drilling a few days after listing, and now we're really accelerating our kind of regional exploration. So what differentiates Alvo to some of the other explorers that are out there is that we've got known deposits at C1 and C3. We've been constantly working on those and learning about the VMS in that district, but at the same time we've expanded our footprint to over 1,000 square kilometres, and then we've gone and bought fixed loop EM, IP, an auger rig, an XRF, a whole bunch of equipment that we're using every single day on site to explore and find, make new discoveries in the same belt.
All right, no worries. And I can see by your sign here on your booth that you've got a nice JORC resource that you've put up there already.
That's a real starter resource. So it's based upon the historical work that was done by the Geological Survey in the 1970s and 80s. They drilled about 30,000 metres of diamond into the project and made the discoveries of the ones that were sticking out of the ground. So since we bought the project, we've done another 20,000 metres of diamond onto it, and that hasn't been incorporated in that resource. So one of the things going forward this year is that we'll be updating that number, hopefully increasing it, but certainly improving the confidence level around that resource, because it's only inferred currently. But the real trick of that is to replicate those two resources that we've got there at C1 and C3 in the rest of the belt, because we believe it's a proper VMS district.
And you know, people always say if you want to go and discover something, go and look where other people have already found things. And so having like a nice number like that to start with, as you say, that just gives you confidence to know that you're drilling in the right spot.
Yeah, look, the shadow of the head frame, that's always been a great analogy, but it's more than that when it comes to VMS, because VMS type tend to cluster, and if you can get hold of the whole belt, which we have, we've got 90% of basically the entire belt that's not been explored, and so now we've got the equipment that we can go and start doing our own regional stuff. I think that's going to be where the real excitement comes through.
All right, so let's just go backwards. So how long have you been over there now?
I got to Brazil in 2004, first time around, and lived there with my family for over 10 years. They've moved back to Australia, and I'm backwards and forwards now, so I'm pretty comfortable.
Pretty au fait with over there.
Yeah.
And so Alvo itself, how long has that been operating there?
So we bought a project from the government in 2019. So we started the company on the back of that, and we listed in the end of 2021. And it's been a journey.
All right. Well, hopefully that journey continues and it keeps on going in the right direction. Speaking of which, what do we sort of expect to hear, coming out in the next few months?
Yeah, so the resource updates in Q3, Q4 around that time, but constant exploration. So, every week we're doing IP surveys, we're doing fixed loop surveys, we're doing soil sampling, auger drilling, mapping, trenching. We're out there all the time and generating new targets and hopefully following them up to the point where we're compelled to drill them with diamond to make discoveries. So that's kind of where we're at, and there's plenty of news coming.
All right, well, as always, we'll be watching and you'll be waiting to hear what's going on.
Beauty, thanks.